Man, my grandmother was a person, she told me how much she loved me.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
Cammy, I love you, baby. And it was like,
wow.
Oh my God. And
but she left you with that though. That affirmation.
And I done been around people who have said it, but I knew she meant it.
Yeah.
What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton, the son, Mr. Boogie, they're all here with another episode of Funky Friday, ladies and gentlemen. And I promise, I really do promise, to give good content for the masses. But most of all, I just promise to always keep it funky. Woo! Mama! You gonna like this one. Cause this young lady right here got us all breaking chains. I mean, she hit notes only Whitney can hit. And I was like, yo, she's so celebrated. And we'll get into it in the discussion. But this is for the church folk. This is for the people in Gen Z, millennials, that can understand a great conversation between two individuals, one who strayed more away than others. But for some reason, boop, we done droned it back home. My next guest is a 3-time Grammy Award-winning gospel powerhouse, 16-time Stellar Award winner, Billboard Gospel Artist of the Decade, co-pastor, daughter, sister, wife, mother. I present the some and introduce the others. Ooh, that was a bar. Mrs. Tasha Cobbs Leonard.
What's up? Ooh, what a pleasure. Let's go.
Feel like
that was a lot, though. It's a lot to sit here and just
to witness that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I be feeling like a pastor sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because where they got to get in their right mind to deal with the wrong people. Y'all don't hear me now. You know what I'm saying? But nah, like I preface it because I don't try to give energy because I know this is going to be one of those ones. Not for performance reasons. It's just because I know I'm going to really enjoy this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
A person who I have become a fan of, a person who I said off camera that your gift to the world has brought me through times.
Wow.
And you don't see the person more so than you see the gift. And it's like, okay. It's a weird revelation, but it's like, yo, I don't even think you even know your impact.
Wow.
Like, it's weird.
It's so interesting you would say that. One of my best friends, he called me after I did a live recording not too long ago. And he texted me and my husband and he said, Tasha, I feel so sorry that you don't ever get a front row seat to experience what we experience from you. You'll never see that. I was like, I don't know if this is sad. But it kind of aligns with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, though. I appreciate that. It keeps me hungry, like for wanting to give more and do more and pour more.
Man, listen, when they say your gift will open doors or make room, shout in. Let me tell you something. Boy, the darkest of nights.
Wow.
And it's just like, man, those words kind of speak to me. And in moments, like you have breakthrough music.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting in my
yeah.
church bag real quick, where
Yeah.
it's like, you gotta know, it's like I don't care what your relationship is with God.
Wow.
I don't care what your relationship is with depression or mental, if you're going through something. Everybody have certain list of songs, call it a playlist, call it artists, that it's just like, I gotta go there. I gotta go in my solitude. And man, you got about 4 bangers that's just like, man, God, I don't know what you're trying to do to me, what you're trying to show me. It's uncomfortable, but I trust you. So I'm always curious, because I have the opportunity to speak and discuss a lot of different, and have the opportunity to speak with many different artists and many different creatives. How do you create?
Wow.
Like, what goes into, like, I was hearing you harmonize, a song, and I'm like, how does it come to you to be led to say, okay, no, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to put that there?
That question is loaded, because it's several different spaces I have to go to mentally and spiritually. The first one is always spiritually. I am always gonna minister from a place of personal experience, always. It works for me. So when you hear songs like Break Every Chain, Fill Me Up, it's birthed from the season that I'm in. Most people would not know that when I was singing Break Every Chain, I needed chains broken in my life. Like, I was dealing with what you were just saying, depression, anxiety, fear. I would go to church, literally sing songs, praying for people, watching people be healed, set free, delivered, and I would go home for like 3 or 4 days, be in the dark, plagued by depression, anxiety, fears. And it took a season of Break Every Chain for me, literally in that song itself. I listened to it over and over and over until I started experiencing breakthrough in my life. So when you use the word breakthrough, it's personal testimony for me. It's not like I'm just pulling songs out of the sky. This is my life. Yeah. And so for me to put it out there, the response of testimonies like you just shared, it makes it worth it. Yeah. Like, I went through that season so somebody else can be set free.
Yeah, it's like, are you musically inclined? Like, do you play an instrument?
I used to.
Okay.
So I came from a musical family. Okay. So everybody on my mom's side sings. All my aunts, cousins, everybody sing. On my dad's side, they play instruments. Okay. Of course, my husband, Grammy Award-winning producer, everything. So I'm surrounded by music. When you say musically inclined, though, this is a funny thing. I don't know if I'm that musically inclined. So like my tempo, counting, all that kind of stuff is so off. We laugh about it all the time. Because I could be on the stage and turn around to my background singers like, hey, I forgot the words. What are the words to this song? It's not the thing that I put at the forefront. I put the ministry at the forefront. So I'm not going out there wanting to be the perfect vocalist, the perfect, singer, everything, perfect. But every single time, my prayer, every time I go on the stage is, God, use me in a way where people experience breakthrough, and I want to see you like I've never seen you before. And he never fails.
I'm over here, and as I was getting prepared for this show, I'm over here, like, what is the comparable to what you've been able to accomplish? And it has a lot of Kirk Franklin in just being a unicorn, like the first of its kind. And I'm giving respect to the Yolanda Adams. I'm giving respect to the CeCe Winans. I'm giving respect to the Clark sisters. I'm giving respect to Mary. Like, I'm giving respect to
my girl.
It all.
Yes.
But when I hear you sing, it's a depth that, like, I don't want to say this in a very hurt man, but it's anger. It's
passion.
Wrong. Ooh, woo. It'd be like, John A., you put me on a word with singing. It's like, it ain't yodeling.
Okay.
It's like to hear you kind of freestyle melodies. It seems to be a freestyle, but it's like, it's only your sound can hit this diaphragm. And I'm like, God, and it's so heavy and rich. Wow. How are you able to find your voice You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because me growing up in church, it's almost like politics as usual, where the lead choir director want their children to be at the forefront. But it's like, Sarah can't hit that note like Pam can. Why ain't Pam getting this verse? But then all of a sudden you start growing years and years and years, and it's like, oh, no. Pam can sing.
Wow.
And like, when did you know you can sing?
This is so loaded. Are you a prophet?
I'm just so excited right now.
So here's the deal. You hit on so many things. I told you I grew up in a family of singers. So I have an aunt. Her name is Aunt Charlene. If you meet her, you're going to love her.
I got Aunt Charlene.
Oh, gosh. Aunt Charlene is the best. She's a superstar. And she was over all of our choirs. Every single choir. We had about 4 choirs at our church. And now, did y'all choir march in? I need to know what kind of church you grew up in.
No, we did it. We didn't do like the quartet kind of step and.
Did they marched in? No, what?
We didn't do that. It was like, listen.
They just appeared.
They appeared. They came out like Power Ranger putties from the ground. It was like, okay, we're about to have a selection from the youth choir, and everybody done came out the restroom and came from outside. It's like,
Choir
okay,
robes?
yeah.
Did you wear robes?
We did not.
No, we didn't have robes either. So that's good.
We did not.
Okay.
Like I grew up in a very small, intimate church setting.
Me too. Yeah.
So it was like everybody knew about everybody.
Everything about
everything.
We're gonna get to that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So Aunt Charlene and she has 2 daughters who are just amazing vocalists. And I say this with all respect. These are my cousins. I love them. They can sing down. So, and during that time, I was leaning more towards my dad was cultivating me as like a communicator. So I preached my first sermon when I was 10 years old. So I wasn't doing a lot of singing. Every now and then she would give me a song to lead, but most of the singing was done by my cousins. Okay. So when I was about 15 years old, I grew up in a small town called Jessup, Georgia. We were bored, didn't have nothing to do. So we created this teenage choir. It was about 50 of us. And we just go around to all the churches in Jessup just doing concerts. And one night we were singing Now Behold the Lamb by Kirk Franklin. Tamala Mann sings it. And the lead singer got in a fender bender. And he was going to be late to the concert. So everybody was like, Tasha, you got to sing. I was like, I don't sing. I direct the choir. What are y'all talking about? So needless to say, I sang the song that night. And just what you're talking about right now, I opened my eyes because I was nervous. The whole time I'm singing it, I opened my eyes. People were in the floor. They were crying, hands lifted. And I'm looking at my parents like, oh, this is different. Like, did we expect this? Yeah. So they're looking back at me with the revelation that,
baby, we got us one. Baby, Jesus, thank you. Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Right. So I was a late bloomer. It was like 15 years old before I knew there was something special on my voice. I knew I can sing because I'm blending with the family. Yeah. But something special, it was about 15 years old. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm so excited just because there's so many shareable moments that I love talking to church people because it's like, did you witness that? Like I witnessed this? Or, you know, everybody's kind of journey through ministry looked and felt different.
Yeah.
Both of us grew up as PK kids.
Yeah.
And that whole dynamic from my perspective and your perspective is completely different. How you raise a boy in church is different than how you raise a girl in church.
What you mean? Let's get into that.
Okay. Well, could y'all wear pants?
Okay. It's interesting because I did grow up in a holiness church.
Talk to me.
But my parents were not very as strict as other holiness parents.
Okay.
So I could not wear them to church, but they did allow me to wear pants from day to day. Like I played sports, I went to movies. It wasn't common. So my parents, they were like kicking against a lot of rules in order to make sure that me and my brother experienced a full life.
Yeah. The only resemblance that I can kind of pull from is from I don't have any sisters. My mother only bare sons. So I have 2 brothers, there's 3 of us. But my cousins we were raised as like siblings because we was always around each other. There is one girl on my dad's side, Chloe. her nickname is Queen because she's the only girl with
Oh, I love that.
7 boys. It may be more. But Queen and her dynamic with her mom and my grandmother, I would always, it's like echoing in the nostalgia of memory of that's not of God. That's not what a lady does. And we outside playing basketball, and Queen was like the tomboy, like, give me the ball.
With a skirt on.
With a full blown, not a skirt, a dress. It's hitting them ankles, sis. And I'm like, I could hear, Hattie in that window. Come get this, come prepare the dinner, get the tables out. And it was like, man, let me get one more shot. And now, she, that's what I was observed as a girl growing up in church. Whereas as a dude, even though the Bible said, come as you are, my fashion sense came from church. I couldn't just come in with no thong flip-flops talking about, these the Jesus' 22s.
You had to put it on.
Every day.
Yes.
Twice on Sundays, you know what I'm saying? So that experience for me was something that I was like, yo, I wonder, growing up as a woman or as a girl in church with, the identity of like, yo, you're living up to what the church wants you to be. Did you feel the pressure?
I did feel the pressure, but I am grateful. I have to keep saying this. I'm grateful for my parents, though, because they only allowed it to go so far. For my brother, it's only 2 of us. So I have an older brother. He's 3 years older than me. And they made sure that we experienced life to the fullest. So we did everything. We had friends, we hung out, we went to the movies, we did all of those things. But you know what, now looking back and raising my own kids, I do believe that some of that was necessary for who we are now. There's a foundation that's there. The Bible talks about train up a child in the way that they should go, and they won't, stray away from it. And I believe that thing that's pulling you back, that you were talking about, keeps pulling you back. They may not have had the understanding that we have or the language that we have, but they stood firm on what they believed. And you can't really blame them for that. It's the knowledge that they had. You know what I'm saying? And so now when I look back on the rules that my grandmother had or that my parents had, it was the way that they knew. I'm training you in the way that I feel that you should go. Now that I have language and understanding, I am super grateful because I could only go so far before that thing started pulling me back. Like, Tasha, that's not who you are. That's not your identity. And I feel like now there are just so many options. Our kids have so much influence, so many things right at their fingertips. We didn't have all of that. We had whatever grandma said, And if you didn't read the Bible by yourself, you had to go with what they said. You know what I'm saying? And so now they just have so much information. I am super grateful for it. And I love this question because, there was a lot of rules. There were a lot of restrictions. But I am also grateful that my parents didn't allow it to go too far. And it made me the person that I am today, now that I can filter through all the fluff of what was God and what was just religion.
I'm reminded of these times when we used to have tent revivals.
With the mosquitoes.
Oh, my goodness.
Good
Everybody's smelling like brute and
I didn't
off.
like outside church.
And there was a moment in time where, as a child, your depth of prayer is only surface level.
Yes.
God, thank you for the food. Thank you for mama giving me these shoes. I thank you for dad for working hard. Amen. Boom. And then you get to a moment where like you deep into like a breakthrough and it's like, no, you ain't done. Just keep calling Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Man, I'll be saying Jesus, 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 Jesus.
Mercy.
Jesus, 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 Jesus. In the corner. Don't stop calling the name until I get tired. And everybody. So that was what my experience was in church. Now, growing up in church, have you ever experienced outside?
Explain outside.
Like I'm outside.
Yes. I think that's what I keep saying. So like,
What's your outside?
You
look
know
like?
what? You're not gonna believe this.
I'm
You're not
not.
gonna believe this.
Make
when
me.
I was probably 9th, 10th grade, I told you we were bored. So I have always been creative. I'm gonna make up something to do. So it was a group of us, and we were like, hey, you know what? We want to go on some college tours. We want to go on college tours, and the way we can make some money is if we host parties.
Tasha.
I was a party hoster. What do you call them? Listen, people was coming to our parties. We had to move them to like the gym at the middle school. It was a big deal. We made a lot of money.
What
we wanted to come visit the AU Center, so we was going to all of these.
What
you mean, what kind of music?
I'm asking, because I need to know.
We was playing Escape, SWV,
Was y'all
Jodeci.
breaking chains then?
No.
Man.
Yeah.
God, boosted.
I was hosting parties. T.I.
I'm serious?
Yeah. You don't want to hear that. Look at you. You looking at me different now.
I'm not even. I don't know, man. You my
we
type
was in
of
there.
going
We was
on.
in there. And we made enough money for us to go on tours to visit colleges. Sure did. You got to be creative out here. I always had a business brain.
You got it.
That's-
Because
That's fresh off the press. Ain't nobody ever heard
Let me tell you something. Whether they want to believe it or not, church is business.
Come on.
Fall wedding season is here, and I know someone's looking at an invitation asking, what am I supposed to wear? Because cocktail, formal, and black tie sometimes means the dress code needs some explanation. For fall, I'm leaning in to richer colors. Burgundy, tan, deep greens, and even a little plaid. And when you find a suit that fits right, with the right shoes and belt, you feel different walking into that wedding. And that's right there where Macy's comes in. They got everything you need to build your whole look. And their fall wedding guide helps you decode the dress code. Then all you gotta do is show up and hit the dance floor. I had to learn that everything does not need to be treated the same. For the longest, I've been using the same shampoo for my hair, my beard, and let's be honest, probably everything else in between as well. Convenient? Absolutely. But was that one-size-fits-all routine actually giving me everything that I needed? Probably not, especially with textured hair. You can't follow whatever advice that's popular and expect the same results. I had to start paying attention to what my hair actually needs. And that's what I like about Baskin Lather. They create products with textured hair in mind, whether you're focused on growth, hydration, strength, or reducing breakage. And once you start using the product, you can really start seeing the difference. Just check out some of the before and afters on their website. Plus, I love that Baskin Lather is Black-owned and family-operated. Built from a real family journey to finding better solutions for hair. Explore viral bestsellers and products for healthier hair of all types at BaskinLatherCo.com. That's BaskinLatherCo.com.
Listen, but let me tell you something. We didn't serve a God. Jesus wasn't out here broke. You know, I want to change that narrative. He was brilliant. He was a creative. Of course, anything that's in the earth, that's birthed in the earth, he's experienced it first. So if he's like, hey, Tasha, I want you to be a business guru, he ain't gonna just throw me out there and something he's never experienced before. He was hanging out with tax collectors and all this. Jesus was
out there.
Brilliant.
Outside.
So yes, he wants us to, the Bible says in John 10, it is my will that you would prosper and be in good health. That's our bodies. We're gonna talk about that. Even as your souls prosper. Come on.
I'm trying to tell you. So God didn't want me to be broke.
No.
That's of the devil. So right now, while I have y'all attention, we got a hotline, 1-800-FUNKY-FRIDAY. Right now, we're gonna put our Cash App on this screen, send all the proceeds, and we'll figure it out.
God don't want you to be broke.
He didn't.
But he did say the poor you'll have with you always. That's about perspective and mentality.
What that mean?
Because everybody don't want to receive. Everybody don't want to change their mindset. So a lot of times we'll see a lot of people who are stuck in a poverty mindset because they don't want to accept the will of God for their lives.
Ooh.
Are we live right now?
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on?
I want to ask you, what did you have to unlearn as you grew older in church that the church taught you?
Condemnation. Just being condemned about everything. Trying to live a perfect life outside of my identity in Christ. I think that's the aspect that was missing. There were so many rules. You can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, and it's impossible. We were born in sin, shapen in iniquity. That's what the Bible says. But he died for those sins. But the only way I can recognize and renew my mind about who I am is to accept the fact that I am God's daughter. This is my identity. I am the ultimate daddy's girl. My dad, he went to be with God 14 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
But I'm the ultimate daddy's girl. Even to this day, Cam, there are some things that I will not do because I will not embarrass the legacy of my daddy. There are some things that we won't do if we understand who we belong to first. And I think that's the part that was missing. Like, you can't do this, can't do that. I can manage that better if you tell me, Tasha, you belong to God. Don't be out there acting like that. You don't want to embarrass him. You want to represent him well. That's how we teach holiness. It's not about rules and don't do this and don't do that. It's about, who is your identity in? My identity is in Christ, and I want to represent him well. I have to say this. If each time I've heard you have a conversation, you have a passion for family. Like, you got a passion for the structure of the home, for just family, and I love to hear you talk about it. Now, everybody don't accept some of your thoughts about it, but I love the fact that you have a passion and a heart for the structure of a home. I love that.
What don't they accept?
You know, you've had some people come on here that didn't agree with everything that you feel about what women do and what. It didn't matter. It didn't even matter.
God said, if you repent now, you will not be casted up for your sin. Like, no.
But I love that you always bring this up, that the family is very, very important. And it's important to God as well. I would say this, the supporting cast. One of the things that and I can only speak about my house and the house that I grew up in, because my parents were both like the breadwinner. So my mom worked a full-time job. My father worked a full-time job. It's all that I ever saw. Same thing with my husband and I. So my husband is a producer. He's MD for Anthony Hamilton, Tamia, all these people when we met. So he was traveling, touring, and I was traveling and touring. So to bring these two lives together and we have a blended family. So merging all of that was it was something that we had to be super intentional about. And I have to give it to him. I wasn't always the best at doing it. He has a heart and a gift for being able to blend and merge large entities. So he was able to do that. One of the things that was hardest for me, and I'll be very honest with you, is that I was used to running my own team. So I had a team. I was traveling, doing the world when I met him. And so coming in, he had to say to me in his way, because he's a very, very calm kind of person, you know, you're not talking to your assistant right now. Like, you know, we're home. You're not at work. So you don't have to give orders. You don't have to be the one, you know, demanding this and asking for that. And it taught me everybody talk about soft life. I had to learn the soft life because I was always used to what you were just talking about, being like the boss chick, you know, running everything. So I love that you bring out the supporter. Like he though he is a boss, he also plays a role in supporting me with his job. Like, he plays the keyboards for me, he produces my records. And so there's an aspect of what he does in our marriage where he has to say, okay, you're the artist, what do you want? But he finds a way to navigate through. And I think it's intentional. Like, everything about what we've done, from blending our families to making sure that our kids are loved and everybody feels important, it has been an intentional thing. It can't be something that you think is just gonna fall out the sky and it's gonna work. That never happens.
I want to stay here real quick because for me, I know right from wrong. I just don't always do right. And
that's all of us.
There's certain things that never will I say shameful about, because that's a part of my journey and story. But there's things that I'm still trying to make right because of the decisions that I've made, right? Okay. I have had all my children out of wedlock, okay? And that doesn't negate the fact that I believe in family structure. And I remember having a conversation with a guest on the show, and no means do I not believe in certain practices of relationships, but it's like, I know family. I know, man, my daddy came home every night. My mama, whether they agreed or not, between my mother and my grandmother, it was always a hot meal that was prepared. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
I knew the tone in my mother's voice that was not, as a matter of fact, Bishop, this is what we, no, that's not my mom.
No disrespect,
My mom is Cecil. Cecil, I'm trying to tell you, Cecil. Okay.
And sometimes that works better than most times. That's gonna work better.
And I've seen the soft side, and my mom has taken the back seat for so many years of just like being the real backbone in the dynamic. And I'm like, yo, she don't get enough credit.
Yeah.
She had to bite a lot of her pride, not her tongue, her pride, because this is not what she expected from her life situation, moving from Savannah to Atlanta, then moving in with family members. And it was like, nah, like I thought we were supposed to have our own.
Wow.
Taking the back seat to say, hey, we don't have it all. The master bedroom belonged to my grandmother.
Wow, okay.
So I'm going to take a back seat to say, I'll take another room, but I believe in the vision of my husband. So
that is so strong.
So when I'm looking at a woman and I'm seeing that they always say women will look for qualities that they saw in their father, and men will look for qualities that they saw in their mother. The healthy relationships. I'm not here to trauma bond or do anything else. It's like, so as I was exploring the world, you know, there was always elements that I still hold or held true, that I believe in family. So having a ultra blended family, I tease about it, but it's like, no, we gonna eat together. You gonna say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Hey, no. You don't just get to close this door, big guy.
Right.
Hey, you don't just get to say nah or yeah. It's we're not equal. Let's be completely honest. Because if you looking up under that tree for Christmas, okay, you better start kissing the ring, baby. Because I'm telling you, those type of things is how I was raised.
It's structured.
I knew that when I seen my parents talking, it wasn't daddy, 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 or mommy, mommy, mommy. It's like,
oh my
adults
goodness,
are talking. Hey, it was a
I got a 5-year-old. I'm trying to teach that to right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are small examples of, I still practice that in my own way that mimic a marriage, mimic a relationship. And I'm not here to say what I believe in, what I don't believe in, what you believe in, what a person may comment. I'm here to say, listen, I know right from wrong. I just didn't always do right. And with that, you know, as we kind of navigate so many different things, ministry was basically your whole life.
Yeah. Until I started throwing parties.
Yeah, until you started. And right now, come to Tasha, Club TT. You know what I'm saying? Club Shiznit.
That's good.
You feel me? Coach Club Holy Ghost. Did you ever have a moment where you were like, Lord, I love you, but I need to get out and explore and be outside just to see a difference? Because church can engulf, or dare I say, not engulf, it can protect you from unrealistic things that are happening in the world.
I always have to keep going back to the liberties that I had, though. Even though I was in a Pentecostal holiness church, I didn't have a lot of restrictions in my house from things that allowed me to be just a normal kid. So I think that helped me, like going through college, growing up, moving out the house. There was not a lot that I wanted to explore because I didn't have a lot of restrictions already. But I will say this, I went to Albany State University. A lot of people don't know this. I went to Albany State University, and I was singing in the choir at the school, all this kind of stuff. And I went went to this studio one night, one of my friends, and there was a girl in there. I'm about to hit you with this. She was a rapper. Her name was Gunja. I had no clue what Gunja was. I was like, oh, that's a nice name.
Yeah.
Didn't realize what we were doing.
Yeah.
So they were like, hey, it's this hook on this song, and this girl can really, really sing. You know, I think we should put you on this song. You want to try it out? So I got in there. I sung the hook. The song made it to, back then, he wasn't Ludacris. He was Little Chris. I'm giving my age away. Little Chris, he had a radio show, and it was Dig It or Diss It. And that song made it all the way to Ludacris's show, and everybody was like, I dig it, I dig it, I dig it. But for me, I just didn't feel fulfilled. Like when I would sing gospel, or it was just something about being able to present my gift in a way that it encouraged and blessed and inspired other people. I didn't feel the same way with that. Not saying that there aren't kingdom people who do that. Like I feel like Jennifer Hudson, I feel like she's anointed. Every time she opens her mouth, somebody's inspired. Yep. Fantasia, same way, but that wasn't my grace. My grace was that you're gonna sing these gospel songs because that's what I've called you to do, and that's where your grace works. And I think a lot of times people will explore doing other things that they feel like is working for other people, but you're not fulfilled in that because it is God's will that we walk out our purpose. And my purpose was to break every chains. My purpose was to sing, put a praise on it. And every time I do that, it never fails that God is blessing other people through my yes to that.
It's interesting to hear because you never was moved to change genres.
That was that one experience, that's all I needed. I was like, oh, that's not for me.
But you know what's crazy? When you look at your resume or the body of work over time, you done brought other people back.
Yes. Yes. It is so amazing that he would, and I guess that's a part of my yes. Like, God, I won't go over there and do it. But he's like, but I can trust you to cross over this bridge. I can trust you to do that. Yeah.
Because name that pops up, Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
And it's like every great soulful singer starts in the church.
Yeah.
Because that's like the amateur night at the Apollo. You know, because everybody hear that, let them use you. That's the church way of booing you off stage. But we're going to work with you now. You got about 10 more seconds.
10 seconds
but somebody
before we start clapping.
Somebody get a little TT on off here. Like, okay, we're going to pray for you, baby. Come on back next week and do better. But throughout this whole moment in time, where was the doubt, or I don't want to speak for you, that I've seen multiple interviews where you talked about the Nicki Minaj's, you talked about the John Legends, the Commons, and other, influential people that may not have claimed the gospel sector, but have made an impact on your gospel song. Yeah. Like, do you feel pressure to abide by the unspoken, what's the word I'm looking for? Holiness. You know what I'm saying? Being church people. And it's like, that's not of God, but what is though? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you're using your gift to spread the word and to create something that's so creative and so unique, and it's still impacting people's, connection with ministry.
You know what? When I think of all of those collabs, and they were all just incredible. I would do them all again, honestly. I always think of the person who, I'll share this with you. I have businesses, and one of them, I have an eyewear company. And the first year that I opened my eyewear company, I went to this expo, and I was just revealing like some of my new frames. And when I walked in the door, I will never forget this as long as I live. I walked in the door, and there was this guy. He was standing there, and he was like, "Oh my God. I literally never thought that I would see you in person." And what he was saying to me was, I love your ministry, I love your music, but the truth is I probably will never come to your church. And that spoke volumes to me, that sometimes we have to leave our space of comfortability and go find people where they are so they can experience the God in you outside of the four walls of your church. And I will always be committed. It's a part of my purpose. It's a part of who I am. I'll be committed to the audience who may not get up on Sunday and come to my church. So how can I find them? I can find them by doing a song with a Nicki Minaj. I can find them by doing a song with a John Legend. This is how it's bigger than the names. It's about the people who may never hear a song that says, God, teach me how to have church on a Monday. That's the song I did with John Legend. And there's been so many testimonies of people who shared that with me. Hey, this was the language that I needed. That, no, I might not go to church on Sunday, but teach me how right here in my house, I can create a space where God can meet me right here. Like that, I'll forever be committed to it. And I don't care who don't understand it. It's not your assignment. Yeah. It's not your purpose. It's mine. It's what God has called me to do. And as long as I am on this earth, I am committed to reaching people who may not get up on Sundays and come to my church.
But that's so, wowing to kind of hear. Who motivated you to be the best version of yourself while working with them? Because you deep in your bag with collabs. It's like, okay, how can this person bring it out?
Wow. It stretches me. Because you work with somebody like a John Legend.
Yeah.
This man can sing. So when we wrote this song, I sent it to him and I was like, I feel like you could really, really, not only that, I felt like that song was a part of his testimony too. Okay. Because, John grew up in the church. A lot of people don't know that he used to sing in gospel groups, all of that. And I felt like it would create a moment for him. Something like you were saying, something nostalgic that reminds him, oh, this is what I used to do. And he expressed that to me. Like he right after we did that song, a clip from him when he was in college singing a Hezekiah Walker song came out. He was just so excited about it. And so I feel like even in those collabs, it doesn't just do something for my audience or their audience, it's doing something for all of us who are involved. So one of those Nicki songs, I was so nervous, man, the Blessing song, because she called and was like, hey, I got this song. I show up in LA and I'm not thinking, Tasha, you gotta go in the studio and you gotta write this verse right on the spot. Like, literally, I had to write. She was like, okay, this is what the track sounds like. I'm gonna give you a few moments and you sit down and you write it. And I was like, oh my God, Lord, please help me.
Talk to me, Jesus. Where you at?
Oh, I was so nervous. Because she's genius. When it comes to music, like she is really like a wordsmith. So I'm sitting there thinking like, Lord, I gotta write something that makes sense. At least let it make sense. But that's every time. He never fails me. If I walk in the room and say, God, I want to represent you well, he never fails me, man. Yeah. That's my testimony.
So we kind of broke the internet a couple times here on this platform of Funky Friday.
Yeah.
We had an individual by the name of Sammy on this show, and it sparked a debate, a cultural debate that I think we need to have more of a discussion about.
Okay.
And when we had Sammy on last fall, he said there's no more singers. Not singers. Like, just how you just said, John Legend, that boy can sing.
Yes.
In R&B, because nobody is starting in church anymore.
I was just thinking about that when we were talking about this.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, sister.
You don't think we have singers?
Sister Leonard, I would respectfully ask that we're going to start with the women first. And I'm going to be obedient. The Lord is moving me to wait.
I will say this. I won't address the talent. I will address the soul.
Okay.
When I think about soul singers, I feel like when we started navigating away from the groups of us who were born and raised in the church around the soul singing, I feel like music has lost that part of it. Like you were talking about in the intro, it's just something about when you open up, you feel that. That's what you feel when Fantasia is singing. It's not, she can sing, God knows she can, but it's something about that soul. Yeah. We miss that. There's something about the connection with God that is at the root and the core of who you are that brings something else out of you. So I do feel like there is an absence of that relationship. Where, okay, I can sing like this because I have a relationship with God, somebody that's greater than me. We're in the culture, how do I say this? We live in a world now where everything is about how big I am, how great I am, who I created myself to be. I just did this. Instead, in our generation, it was like, okay, God, I give you glory. Like when something happens in your life, you're gonna point that thing back up. Like, this is not about me. I didn't do this in my own strength. Yeah. And I think now we live in a world, even with our kids who grow up in church, like I got 4 babies right now, and we have to keep reminding them, this ain't about you. You didn't do this on your own. It's the grace of God on your life. And I think that is something that's missing. We fail to give him back the glory.
Wow.
Yeah.
You being in this industry for as long as you have you seen the shift of focus of onboarding new talent?
Oh, that is so dear to my heart. I feel like even in gospel, just the platforms, and I love all of these platforms. I love the shows. I believe what's missing is the processing. I think you win a show today and overnight, you become this major success and nobody has prepared you for the success. And I think a lot of our young people who are coming up in the industry, they're crumbling under the pressure because they haven't been prepared properly. Like, I think back to, I had mentors. I had people who taught me, who could tell me, no, don't do that. You're not ready for that. It's too early for that. And I listened to them. Yeah. Now, we live in this world where anybody overnight can become an overnight sensation, and they have not been properly prepared. That's one of the things that really, really breaks my heart. And there are so many shows from all genres that have come along, and I'm grateful that people have these platforms, but I think one of the things that we should offer them is teaching. Training. I don't think there are a lot of enough coaches out here to prepare our young people and the people in this generation for the weight that comes with success.
Do you think we're too far gone?
I don't think so.
I think we are.
You do?
Yes.
Well, I will say this. I don't know that this generation is open to coaches.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Because homage or homage is not something where we don't have students of the game no more.
Yep. We were students.
It was like, I'll tell you the difference. And this is me kind of stepping into a lane, but I'm trying to cross over back to sport. For me, you would sing a cover and find the range to hit it because that's where the song took you to go. And you pay homage. I'm trying to sound like Brian McKnight. I'm trying to sound like Anthony Hamilton. And they will always be, listen, I'm a fan.
Yes.
Well, for sport, I've seen this. I'm witnessing this in real time. Wow. Nobody's studying the game. They see Cam Newton and was like, yo, bro, I rock with you. Why you rock with me? Bro, you was dabbing on them. But you didn't see me. You don't see the process of Cam was inspired from Vince Young, from Jamarcus Russell, from Michael Vick to Steve McNair, to Warren Moon, to John Elway, to Steve Young. Like so many different individuals that I'm like, I have this conversation with my children. It's like, yo, where did these people go to college?
No information.
None. They just see, I watch your highlights on YouTube.
It's across the board, too.
And now, that's what I'm saying, like, nobody's paying homage anymore. They feel like, I'm out here by myself.
Let me get this reel.
Come on.
Ooh, can't take another reel.
Come on.
Yeah.
And that's where it's lacking. Nobody, and to be honest with you, they're dreaming in the wrong stratosphere.
Woo.
Because I'm like, bro.
That's true.
I'm still a dreamer. I see certain things and am competitively envious, not hatred envious. I'm like, yo, I want that. I just seen you pull up in a RV. I think I want that. You know, RV. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I just seen you do these type of collaborations. Hey, I want to be able to call this particular person. And I'm not saying that, who does she think she is? It's like, I love that and want to apply it in a way where I'm not trying to skip the steps.
Ooh.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if that would be my challenge to this generation, And it gets to a point where it's like, I created this.
Yes.
Nobody was with me throughout this process, but you don't want to give the appreciation to the person that inspired you.
I guess, I hate to ask the question, but the question is, how do you reach them and now give them this lesson that, okay, because they're super talented. They come here like singing riffs and runs at 12 years old. So it's almost like I could be a sensation like right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
So nobody can tell me nothing because I'm talented. But the thing is, how do we teach them that talent is not the only thing that you need?
A lot of my virality through content comes through my philanthropy of giving back my time, energy, and effort with C1N. C1N is an all-star team that was morphed, created, and derived from my experiences in football. I partner with coaches who also went to college, played at the next level, and the trust comes not because of the resume of Cam, it's because Cam is rendering his time to be able to say, everything that you want out of this game of football, I've experienced
it. Yeah.
So what we could do is, I think a lot of quote unquote aunties, uncles, OGs, people that are in position, you gotta give back time.
Spend time.
Because you talking to somebody and saying, baby, that ain't it. You ain't my mama.
Yeah, you gotta have the relationship, like the equity, relational equity.
And a lot of times when I go viral, it's me bringing somebody back. Hey, dog.
I love that.
Look, let me tell you something. There ain't nothing in this game that you gonna get that more than me. And when you hear that, oh, I love Cam checking these kids. It's not, no. What the comment don't know is that kid knows that this is not coming from a place of virality. This is coming from a place of understanding and knowing that, bro, I love you, bro. I don't want nothing. I don't need nothing. This is me telling you that if you don't check yourself, I will hate for the world to check you. So these type of processes, man, happen every single day, and everybody wants Thanksgiving dinner in 30 minutes.
Yep.
It just doesn't happen that
like
way.
that.
And
if it does, it's so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you could crumble under that. Man, we've seen it over and over.
What was so interesting to me, being a fan, I first known you or hearing your vocal and I'm grateful that my brother's here, because William Murphy, and I heard there was a song that, sing it, Tasha, and you sang it. I can't, I'm drawing a blank, but I remember him saying your name, not knowing that this is the Tasha Cobbs Leonard.
Probably Angels Cry.
Yeah,
like
and it was like, that being, quote unquote, a backup singer.
I had a coach.
And now seeing him, a person who have created so many, another part of my playlist of warfare, like, bro, these are what I'm playing in a time of need. But when we're talking about OGs and journeys, for even you, what were the forefathers or the pioneers that curated who we see today? Wow.
I have to start with my aunt. I talked about Aunt Charlene. Charlene didn't play about singing them 3 parts, and she was so strict that we had assigned tambourine players. Like, churches, it was 5 of us. If you were not assigned, you can't play the tambourine.
Did y'all have the tambourine with the cover or just
it was both. I can play both. I can still I can still do it right now.
Like riding a bike.
It's what it is instilling in you. And you started naming all of these. And I want to kind of break this down because people keep talking about the gatekeepers. And I want to just annihilate that, especially in gospel, because one of the things that I experienced coming into gospel music, Kirk Franklin, from the very moment that I met him, he was like, take my number. If you ever need anything, to this day, I can get on the phone and call Kirk right now. Yolanda Adams, I can call her any day. She's going to pour into me. When I was going through depression, when we had a miscarriage, CeCe Winans, all of them have always been very open to me. One of the things that I love, though, is I looked up to them my whole life. my whole life. CeCe Winans, BB, all the Winans is like, this is like royalty in gospel.
Yeah.
And to meet CeCe and still experience the same grace, the same love, it was exactly what I envisioned that it would be. Same thing with Yolanda. And so to when I think about that, of course, William Murphy. When I moved to Atlanta in 2006, the first thing he said to me, I don't know how much of that story that you know. I moved to Atlanta on just a word from God. He said, you have 4 months to move to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta. It was the first day that William Murphy started the Dream Center Church of Atlanta. I came and I was the only person that joined the church that day. And he was like, his story is totally different. He was like, I was devastated, like, Lord, what in the world are you doing? And so he got on the phone and he called me. He was like, you gotta be somebody special. And he said, so I want you to tell me everything about your life. We sat on the phone for about 2 hours. And at the end of that call, he said to me, I'm gonna take you on the road with me. He said, I'm gonna show you everything. He said, I want you to take the meat and spit out the bones. He said, everything about me, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I want you to see it all. He said, because greater works will you do than me. And he took for 6 years, I traveled the road with him, singing background like you were saying, carrying his bags, checking in the hotels, because that was that part of that process. He says something all the time, much is taught, but most is caught. And if we can get that to this generation, like, spend time around the people, not just so they can, Cam Newton's one of the greatest in the world. That's good. But learn the things that got me there.
Yeah.
There's some things that got us there that's in the foundation and the core of who we are.
Yes.
And those are the things that I got from William Murphy.
Man, that's profound.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be so obedient to this, but it's like, when I hear you, right, and I think, somebody had asked me this recently and was asking of, what did you learn most about church? And I had to pause and think. It was like, yo, I never taken a public speaking class.
Ah, yeah.
And I just heard your testimony, in prep right here, and I was like, man, that girl know how to work this. I mean, the stage was a 360. You working over here, you working over there, and God just said that. And I grew up in an era where, you have to say Easter speeches by memorization.
Oh my goodness.
You couldn't just say,
Pages.
okay, roses are red, violets are blue.
And you reading it, it's 4 lines.
Man, no.
Yes.
So,
Charlene wasn't playing
they
that.
was not doing that. And you better speak clear.
Yes.
And them little tears, get right. Because I done seen, there was time and time again, we would have to go outside.
Oh, this is good. Yeah.
And come back. And you and you better not cry. I'm gonna give you something to cry about. I said, if that wasn't nothing to cry about, what? the oxymoron in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, church taught me public speaking. And I see a lot of your songs and your ministry is through the unorthodox manner of you just speaking in a moment or God speaking through to you. But it looks synchronized. It looks like it's planned. It's like, yo, like, how did you come about through that? I know you were in ministry early, with being a youth I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, let's talk about that.
I love this question because I don't think when I told you that my dad started cultivating me as a communicator very, very young, I believe that the music coming in a little later was just a door for God to get the word to people. So they'll be attracted to the music, like, oh, she can sing, these are great songs, but ultimately they're gonna leave with a word. And I needed to know how to communicate first before I got into, oh, there is a gift of singing in me. Daddy had to teach me, this is how you present. This is how you write out an outline. This is how you write out a message. I remember going to Lakewood Church and Joel Osteen after I ministered, I sang a song, I think I was doing Break Every every chain. He came out, he was like, come back, come back. He was like, there's just something. He's like, it's almost like you're preaching and singing at the same time. He was like, it's so unique. And it really blessed me that he would do that, because I feel like that was my father's dream. That yes, she can sing, but ultimately I want you to get the word to people, whatever it takes. And if that's music, let's get it to them.
Yeah, that's it, and it's such a craft that has to be taught over time.
Wow, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because us having this conversation and us singing and then, okay, now transition. That's one thing. But when you're in front of 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 people and they looking at you, come on now.
To make sense.
Sing. like bring this around. You know what I'm saying? And don't let it be, time to end things and they still in the moment. But another thing that I've noticed, going back to the sang conversation, is in R&B, the one gospel song at the end of every album. Every Whitney album had a gospel song. Destiny Child would have a gospel song on the album. Mariah, there's no more thank yous to God in liner notes, right? Why do you think that is?
I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Culture now has created this space where you have so many options. We didn't have options. Like, grandma told you who God was. This is who we serve. You gonna get up and you gonna go to church. You don't have an option. Even now, our kids have options to go to church. We pastor a church, and it's like, our teenagers don't have to go if they don't want to. We didn't have that option.
No, we didn't.
We had to get up and go. You're going to get there on time, and you're going to Sunday school.
For sure.
I feel like that's minor, but I feel like just in general, culture has presented this generation with so many options. You can choose your God. You can choose what you serve. You can choose whether or not you believe in God or not. We didn't have so many options.
Some of the commandments. It ain't all the commandments. We adultery. That is a top 10.
Yeah, I don't want to believe in that. Like,
But
you
stealing?
Yes.
Nah, that ain't no commandment.
Yeah, so I feel like that's where the absence is. I love that you mentioned this. I never even thought about that, even with Escape. Like, Escape had gospel on their records.
Yeah.
I never really even thought about that. But it was their way of saying, at the end of the day, at the end of this album, you're gonna know what I believe.
Yeah, and I would like to chime in this and just hear your thought process. It's like, these days, people are prioritizing the look more than the skill.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's about influence. Everybody's an influencer.
Because, like, you may look good.
Yeah.
But with all the augmentations of sound and, you may can dance
Look at
good.
you out there on that live show.
Yes.
turn the mic on.
Yes. But they played it as strengths. You see what I'm saying? So they're not going to experience that. But
can you blame them, though? Because the audience is drawn to it.
You can't. I mean,
yeah, because the audience, they're going to buy the record. You look good on the album. I don't care how you altered it. I like the way it sounds.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to that. But as we're talking about stage presence, there's one of the things that moved me, that you did recently, and you went viral for talking about becoming a creative without God and called the separation sinful. What happened in your life that made you feel like you needed to publicly repent and doing it in that type of manner?
You know what? I appreciate you for bringing this up, because there's just a measure of clarity there, and I said it from the beginning that it was not about sin; it was about distance. Okay. And an example that I would use is my 5-year-old and my teenager. My husband is always in the house. He loves our kids, all of them to death, the same way. The 5-year-old is going to follow him. I'm from the country. We say foot to foot. Everywhere my husband goes, Asher's going to be there. So he's not missing a moment in the father's presence. The teenager, they feel a measure of independence. So I'll go to my room even though I'm in the same house, but I don't always get to hear what's coming from the heart of the father because I'm not in the same room. So you create this distance. And so for me, there came this measure of independence. I could conjure up a concert, people gonna come out, we're gonna have a moment, we're gonna have a good time. But was it a God time? Did God get to do exactly what he wanted to do? Because now I felt this measure of independence where I can make this happen because I'm creative enough.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's always been this measure of, how do you know when God's there if it's not tangible?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And I said that on there. It's about awareness. Because now this is the part that I really wanted people to get from that testimony, because it wasn't just about me. Because the truth is, what about the people who are showing up feeling like they had a God moment? Because now that says there's also distance with you, because you didn't have discernment enough to know that you just had a good time.
Yeah.
But God wasn't there. I think it was for all of us to recognize there are moments where we need to figure out how to get in the room where God is, so that we don't miss what his desires are. Because I'm singing songs for your glory. People are being blessed. They are being inspired. But did they get all they could have got if I was really at the feet of Jesus, like my daddy taught me my whole life, in the right place with him? So for me, I'm 45 now. So people keep talking about, why does she feel like she needed to do? I feel like people need to see open repentance. It was often done in scripture where people come back to say, I didn't do that right. There were some things that I didn't do right. And people want to say, I knew she was off with the podcast. It was not about the songs or the podcast or anything like this. This was a personal thing.
Yeah.
It was a personal pursuit after his presence that I knew I wasn't doing as much as I had done before.
I'm going to say this because I will preface this or give the disclaimer that everybody's journey to Christ is completely different. Right. But for you, for the viewer who may not be accustomed to ministry, Jesus, God, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, through different genres of Christ, what would you advise a person to take proper steps to saying, like, channeling your relationship with God through, your lens?
I love this question, and as a pastor, this is what I would probably suggest. And I use a lot of examples because in watching just people in life in general, you act like who you hang with. Like who you spend most time with. You say, y'all do this step class. Most of the girls that hang out in there, they probably gonna laugh at the same things. They start wearing the same stuff. They start looking alike, wearing the same hairstyles. You act like who you spend time with. And so I would suggest, and I know it's not always the easiest thing to do, but I would start by reading the Gospels, because that's where you spend the most time with Jesus. To get to know, I want to get it to you. I have a wristband on right now that says, "What would Jesus do?" What would Jesus do? The way that I know what he would do, I know I went and made some more because I was like, you know what? We need to bring that back.
The cloth ones, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but spend time in the Gospels walking out Jesus's life. And you will be amazed how you start to act like him.
But I'm going to ask this question.
What if I don't want to read the word?
No, because I think a lot of times church folk assume that certain algorithms or acronyms. That's what
language.
Language.
Yes,
it's like the Gospels. Could you put it in layman's terms to explain, like, what would be the step or the journey?
Okay. So the Bible is broken down. I know we think it's one book, but it's several books. And there are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These are apostles in the scriptures, people who walked with Jesus, spent time with him.
New Testament.
Yes. So those books of the Bible, they journey through the life of Jesus. And if you want to get to know how he thinks about certain things, how he would respond to certain things, I would say, all right, let's not even worry about Revelations right now. Don't even worry about Genesis right now. I want you to skip to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, how they document various stories and various details about the life of Christ. And I really believe it would be a blessing on how you're supposed to walk out your life.
Yeah.
Is that better?
No, absolutely. Now, going kind of backtracking real quick, because I want to bring closure to this. Some people saw that moment where you repented publicly, some thought it was genuine, some thought it was performative. Did seeing people question your sincerity hurt you or bring out an emotion that you didn't necessarily agree with?
You know what? When I posted that moment, I did not expect the response to be as great as it was. I'm grateful that it was, because most of the people that I saw, most of the comments that I saw, I'm not a comment person, so I'm not reading a lot of comments, but most of the comments that I did see, it was personal for people. That, man, if Tasha could take this leap and say that she's experienced distance, then so can I. And that blessed me, that people said they can relate. I even saw some comments of people saying, I didn't have language for what I've been feeling, but now that you say this is what's been happening to me. Yeah. It was almost like a moment where even in my weakest point, God was using that as a tool to bring people back closer to him. Yeah. So it's like God will use anything that you allow him to use. So I just thought I was posting a moment that happened in ministry, but it was much bigger than that.
Have you ever felt the pressure of church to be a certain way?
Like performative?
Yeah, like, even when you use this example of repenting publicly, and I know you've been open about depression and going through humanistic things, but it's like, we don't expect a pastor to do that. We don't expect Tasha to go through that. I mean, she's chosen. You know, how do you feel the pressure of being held to a higher standard where some would think that they don't expect you to have certain experiences through life?
Yeah, I have felt that before. I think in just life in general, you find a space where I would just rather please God. You know, you talk about the depression and the anxiety that I went through, it really came from what you're talking about. It was self-rejection. So we talk about me growing up in church, us growing up in church. One of the things, the pressures that I had as a PK, and it may not be everybody's experience, my experience was you gotta be the perfect PK. Yeah. So I was the one, you know, I can remember a deacon coming to me, you know, his son the same age, like, hey, I want you to watch, make sure my son doing his homework. That type of pressure, you know, that type of responsibility.
Like the poster child.
Yeah, on a team. So I adopted it for myself. Like, Tasha, you gotta be perfect. So all of these years now, I'm denying my flaws. Like, I got all these flaws. So now it goes into hiding it. It goes into manipulation. It goes into lying, because nobody wants to see an imperfect Tasha. Everybody wants the girl who can sing, the girl who can preach. Nobody wants to know that you're
good spirit, high energy, very motivating.
They don't want you to know that you're dealing with issues. And so by the time I'm 25, 26 years old, living this life of rejecting myself, it comes to a head. Like, now I'm depressed. You know, now I'm dealing with all of this fear and this anxiety, because all of these years I didn't feel free to be myself. Yeah, I had to be what everybody else expected.
So being in this position, I saw a quote where you were speaking about Beyonce, and you know, which led me to this question. You spend so much of your life being the person people come to for encouragement. Who do you call when you're the one who needs encouragement?
I think this is a loaded question for me, because this is easier said than done. But I think you have to be intentional about surrounding yourself with people. Like you met my assistant, Joy. Yeah. She's known me for 18 years. People who are not there to celebrate your gift. They are not there to applaud you when you win an award. They are there to keep you grounded. Those are the people that I run to when I need encouragement, when I need strength. My family, people who know me. You know, I saw you earlier. It was one of your podcasts. You got so many. You got so many great things happening. But you were talking about hosting parties, taking all these people on vacation, and one day it dawned on you, these are not the people who gonna be here if I need something, you know, and that's the same way with me. Like, you have to be intentional. And I would suggest this to anybody. Like, if you're coming to the brink of success or something great is happening in your life, don't run to the people that's applauding. Because the same people that's clapping gonna be the ones that's canceling you tomorrow. run deeper into those relationships that have been there your whole life. People who saw you before you could see you. Those are the people that I'm going to run to.
I would also add to that. I would say there's a lot of people who do not fall in love with themselves.
Yeah.
It's like fame can cover up a lot.
Yes.
Depression can also mask a lot. And those are the two extremes where, on one hand, you have everything, but you have nothing. And then on another hand, you can say like, yo, like, what do I really want? And oftentimes I was just having a conversation with a former C1N player, and he was like, but how do I do that? I was like, bro, just start off by asking that question. What do I want to do?
Yeah.
He was like, bro, I just feel so obligated to help my parents and help my mom and help my brothers and sisters. But it's like, yeah, that's the allegiance in your heart. Like, that's what your heart tells you. Your conscience, you have to train your conscience to say, hey, what do I want?
Yeah.
Like, is this a triggering moment? And every time when Jesus would talk to God, it was through isolation. And I was always challenge anybody to fall in love with yourself and being okay with being by yourself. It's not to be alienated. It's not to, be distant. It could be those things, but it's also to say like, hey, this is when you don't need substance. You don't need no nouns.
Yes. Yeah.
Person, places, or things, you don't need nothing for you to listen and tap into you, because the people who are able to do that are really the woke individuals that realize like, hey man, Ma, I love you, but okay, not right now.
Well, yeah.
And to that story that you was kind of mentioning, there were multiple times where my heart gave, and my conscience was like, nah, bruh. But it's like, I got it. And like, yes. But over time, my prayer, and I always say it, is discernment. Because as a person who's popping, you're so easy to love.
Yeah.
And you don't know, and dare,
But what happens when you're not easy to love?
Dad,
Yeah.
man, look.
Woo. I have two things that came to mind when you were just talking. There were two instances when I released the song Break Every Chain. It's blowing up. It's going everywhere. And there were two people who said something to me that was so profound I'll never forget. It was CeCe Winans and Ricky Smiley. I was on a Ricky Smiley show.
Good people.
And good people.
Yeah.
He pulled me to the side and he shared his testimony with me. He was like, Tasha, he's like, I want to share this with you. You're a country girl like me. He's like, you love God like me. He said, there are some things that I don't want you to do like me. He said, I gave everything I had to everybody else. And he was like, right now, I'm a 50-year-old man and I'm rebuilding because I gave away everything. Don't you do that. It never, when I tell you that never left me. And then one day I was talking to CeCe and she saw it on me. I guess I was just really heavy. I had people calling from everywhere. Everybody want to be a publicist. Everybody want to do this. And she said, Tasha, stay as small as you can for as long as you can. Oh, those moments, it helped to build me as an individual. Like, you cannot take the blessings that God has given you and try to be God to everybody else. You're gonna run out. You're gonna run out. Like, do you have a moment like that? Like, where somebody just like saved you from messing up?
Yeah. Numerous ones.
Yeah.
But I think what I need, the type of person that I am, I need to touch fire to realize,
Oh, you needed to run out.
I was listening to a comedian that said, bro, when black people say words twice, they mean it. Oh, it's hot in here, huh? Or they toxic in here.
Oh, so you needed to experience taking everybody out and, yeah, okay.
I needed it.
Yeah.
But I think I needed to be let down, like dropped. We're like,
ooh, that's strong.
My question now becomes like, you gave up on me.
Wow.
I needed to see that. I needed you. I needed you to give up, because now when I get back up,
I'm not running to you. I got it. Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Yep.
Because I see so, like, my heart, I would always ask my dad, like, man, Pop, why you keep bringing all these people in. Like, who is Buddy, man? Like, he cutting our grass. He a 6-time felon.
That's what happened when you a PK.
You know what I'm saying? But
pastors have big hearts.
And it's the same thing that's in me to believe in people. And it's like, bro, like, come on, dog. Like, man, come with me.
Yeah.
And you realize that it's not just the strangers, it's the people that you call friends, that you call lovers, that you call family members. And then it's like, when I need you the most, either you're nowhere to be found or you don't handle me how I need you to handle me, which lets me know you don't really know me, nor should you deserve me.
Wow.
Ooh. And I'm in that season right now, I believe. My lady calls it the season of shedding. And, you know, publicly, you know, the ESPN situation kind of happened. I'm grateful for that. But also, you know, through that, I'm realizing that, hey, I need to reinvent myself.
Yeah.
Because what others may have known, like, no, they don't care about that. Yeah. They get distracted by the bow ties, the hats, the persona, the aura, the hair, the aura. And it's like, okay, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
So that's my challenge now. I think.
Now, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Is Cam Newton going back to the NFL?
Never.
Why these people be making up stuff online?
Man, the children's.
But you know what? Now you are in shape.
No,
now, let me tell you something.
No, for sure. I'm in one of them scary modes right now where I'm
you
fasting.
out there killing it.
I'm fasting. I'm working out, and this is what makes me more dangerous.
Because the mental. You stay so focused when you're in shape.
It's not even yes, but I don't need nobody. I will hit that road.
Yeah.
I will work out. I will go to that class. Dolo. And folks would be. I remember.
And you're in there hitting your pose by yourself.
You know what I'm saying? it hit me time and time because I do wear headphones. And I make sure that depending on where I am, the volume is not so loud where I can't hear nothing. And some of the times it's like, hey, is that Cam? Cam! It's one of the moments like people are seeing me. It's like, bro, there's no way this dude out here by himself.
But you zoned.
I'm so locked in.
I love it.
And I'm using all them Ruffles. I'm using them Cheez-Its. I'm using them Doritos, them Fritos, all them chips on them shoulders. And I'm breaking every chain. Yeah. You feel me? But it's like, the kid's godmother, you know, sent me this message. She was like, oh my God, Kim, you're going to the Falcons, congratulations. And I'm like, no, I ain't. She sent me the clip online. It was like, it was a spoof. But no, do I think I could? Yeah, but that's the mental. And I know that there's a different version of yourself that you kind of tap into, but no, I'm not. And I'm in a good space for that. I think now.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't think you will ever experience this, and it's crazy that I just caught it. It's like, you have a skill that you can do for the rest of your life. Just imagine if somebody said, Tasha, you cannot sing no more. You'll have to reinvent. You was like, what? I can't sing? I've been singing since I was 8, 11. I've been speaking. I can't do none of that.
Yeah.
That's how athletes feel.
Yeah.
It's like, I know I can play, but it's like, I can't though.
Yeah.
And I'm not about to just render my talent to like open night at, I'm Tasha Cobbs. Like,
At the karaoke.
I'm not about to do that. We ain't at JR Crickets. No shade. But I ain't about to just.
But I will say this. You can sing for the rest of your life, but I still believe that life happens in seasons. I was literally just talking to my husband about this the other day, that there are seasons, even in like the industry and gospel, where things just kind of shift. You talked about this earlier. You had the Kirk Franklin movement, where he just brought this revolution, the sound of gospel. And then you got, whoever's next. Then you had this group, Maverick City, come along.
Man,
where it's where it's like, you can get caught in a space where am I in this? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, okay, Break Every Chain was 2013, 2014, but God, where do you have me right now? Yeah. And I think you have to be solid and you have to have a sound foundation in who God has called you to be. Because there may be some seasons where God just wants me to be auntie. You know, and I've been through that. When I talked about the distance, where I'm trying to make up things to do, and God is like, I just want you to sit still right now. You know, so it may not be the same because I can sing, but there are still seasons where God is like, no, but I'm using this one, and I want you to help them become who I want them to be.
That's okay.
You know, everybody won't be able to deal with that.
I want to ask you something, and I don't want to trigger, any emotions, but how did you deal with, or how do you grieve? Especially, I heard about, you being a daddy's girl, and that happening in a time where nobody knows the day, the hour, the second, but it happened, and for that to be like a testimony for others to kind of hear, especially for me. I lost, an earthly angel for me last year, my grandmother. And that was the only time I've ever been to a funeral in my life, really, or my adult life. I've lost grandparents, early in my life. But as a person who was so close to this individual, and to see, oh my God, it just does something to you. So grief.
Yeah. Several things come to mind. The first one is what my dad, he was a man of very few words, unless he was preaching or telling jokes, because he was so funny. One of the things that he always told me, and I didn't understand it as much when I was a kid, he always, and I have it tattooed on my arm, stay at the feet of Jesus. I didn't understand what that meant. Just like you were saying, church lingo, I didn't understand what that meant until I got older. That as long as I am seated in the presence of God, he gives me an understanding of life and seasons and things that we go through that I could never understand outside of the Spirit. And I get that now. That's the spiritual aspect of it. The practical side, the moment, this is the God in heaven truth. When my father, I was in the car, headed back from Nashville. My dad had a heart attack in the car with my mom, headed back from Nashville from the Stellar Awards. And he had a heart attack in the car. That's a miraculous story. He saved my mom's life, even in death. He lifted, gravity everything is gonna be heavy. So he lifted his foot as he was having a heart attack off of the gas so that she wouldn't be hurt in the car. And the car just kind of floated into a ditch, and she was able to go across the street to a house and say, hey, I think my husband is having a heart attack. My dad, however, when leaving the Stellar Awards, they called me and they said, hey, Tasha, I think you need to sit down. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna sit down. And they said, well, your dad just had a heart attack. So I'm getting in the car, I'm like, okay, I'm headed to Jessup right now. By the time I could get to, on the interstate, I was here in Atlanta, they called back and said, he's gone. Immediately, Cam, my mind immediately started saying, thank you, God. I had one of the greatest fathers that anyone could ever ask for. He gave me some of the greatest experiences I could have ever had. I'm crying and my heart is broken. I can't even explain this except in the Spirit. But everything that came out of my mouth was thank you, God. Thank you that I had an opportunity to have a father, because people didn't have that. And to this day, every time I think about my dad, the first thing that comes out of my mouth, thank you. He was such a good man.
Yeah.
Even though my heart is broken, even though I miss him and I want to talk to him, the first thing I think about, though, is, wow, that was a good man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the memories that I have is gratefulness that I could have not had him. Like, Grandma could have not been there.
Man, let me tell you something. I'm getting goosebumps just like thinking about, my grandmother. And I'm not a very emotional person, but I remember like it was yesterday. I was in Vegas for a conference that I was trying to, and still was trying to get into fashion. And, You know, my intermediate family has a group chat. It's like, yo, like, hey, my grandmother was going through dementia. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of weird to kind of like, everybody would say she don't remember nothing. Mm-hmm. But I didn't experience that.
Oh, wow.
And this was so, let me tell you something.
So whenever she saw you, she remembered. Wow. That's a blessing.
But that goes to like when it was time, I didn't think that. She's a strong woman, you know, and I was like, nah, this ain't not. I'm gone. Like I didn't get to properly say thank you, Hattie.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
But the follow-up text was like, hey, it's happening. Yeah. And during that moment, it was a gratitude, but it was also me knowing that I don't think there's probably one more person that shares this to me. I don't think I would ever find a love like that. Cause like my grandmother was a person. She told me how much she loved me.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
Cammie, I love you, baby. And it was like,
wow.
Oh my God.
But she left you with that though. That affirmation.
And I done been around people who have said it, but I knew she meant it.
Yeah.
And every time that woman would see me in church,
wow,
I love you, Cammie. And it's triggering because like, I don't cry. But when I seen her in the hospital, and that's one of those things that was like, she knew me. She was like, and the family was kind of prefacing like, yo, don't be alarmed. She may not know. She was like, I love you. And my grandmother ain't the one that I'm tough because she was tough and my dad was tough. You know what I'm saying? So like, when I'm going to see her, I was doing ESPN at the time, and she was at, anybody who knows Atlanta, the studio that we were at was down the street from Grady. And I would stop at Grady and I would try to go get her something to eat. And that's when I realized, man, my grandmother got a sweet tooth. She was eating the moon pies.
Yeah.
And the nurse would come in there and she was like, Mr. Newton, they was trying to be respectful. They was like, Mr. Newton, can you tell your grandmother that she need to eat her food?
So she was just eating the sweets?
She was just eating all the sweets. And I was like, man, Hattie, you do whatever the hell you want.
Whatever you want.
I'm about to go get you some more
moon pies.
And I will buy a moon pie just to sit it right there.
Wow.
And my grandmother had this way about her where that's how I judge women. And I regret not asking the tough questions to the people that could tell me more about me and where I came from. Mm-hmm. One of my regrets in life is that I never got to talk to the adult me never got to talk to the grandfather that I had.
Okay.
And I'm like, bro, I just wanted to talk to my grandpops, man. Like, how did you get a woman to never look at another man? To never know anything outside of just, she didn't have to say she loved you, but you knew it. She would make a stranger a plate. She forced everybody to pray. She forced, if this was all the people, like, listen, if y'all gonna be here at Saturday night, y'all getting up and going to church on Sunday morning. That's just how it is. And if you didn't want to go, don't you bring that boy back over to this house no more.
No, that's
what she was.
And I think that's built though. So maybe you experienced the women who were made into what God made them to be for you. And I love that I love that you're aware that you didn't get to ask the questions. What was it like before, and how did you get them there? How did you help them become the women that I experienced? You know, I feel like it happens with seasons in life.
Yeah.
That we are made into. The Tasha I am is nothing like the Tasha I was 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it comes with being made into who God designed you to be.
And that's why I asked this question with a heavy heart about grief, because even during that time, I've seen versions of my family that I'm like, man, I ain't never seen my daddy cry. And boy,
Wow.
when I saw it, it was shocking. Like, whoa, Pop. And dare I be like, man, that's all right, because it was so much built up. And for me to cry, I ain't never, not emotional, but it's tears of joy to understand that I experienced something from a person that I knew that woman loved me. And she was grateful. She would do things that was just like, man, that's Hattie. And there was moments and times in my life where she taught me structure, she taught me discipline. And my lady would tell you, like, boy, I don't know where you get this gift from, but boy, you can make a bed. It's so random.
Yeah.
But everybody—
It matters, though.
Man, my grandmother taught us how to take care of things. And
Wow.
she would teach us how to clean it up. And like when you clean it up, it wasn't your approval, it was her approval to say, okay, let's go to something else and do those things. And I'm just so grateful.
That's awesome.
For that. Let me ask you, were there ever a moment, or was there ever a moment where you walked away from gospel?
Honestly, no. There was never a moment that I walked away from gospel. There were times I wanted to quit, for sure, because my preference, and I say this all the time, my preference is the local church. And we can talk about that. My husband and I pastor a church now in South Carolina. I've always been called to the local congregation. And we talk about that. I love that you brought up, there are so many things that we learned in church that you can't learn anywhere else. No. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. He was like, I learned community in church. I learned, how to be a bad kid in church. I learned how to be a good kid. Everything that you needed, from vacation Bible school to, so for me, I know the importance of that community. The Bible literally says that God sets the lonely in family. And when he talks about family, he's talking about the church, the local body of believers. And I believe in that. I think a lot of times we kind of get away from it because, we can have church online now. And it doesn't really feel the same. Churches have this thing now they call small groups, where we say it at our church, we don't grow in rows, we grow in circles. And so we build these groups of people. It's about 12 to 15 people. Wow. And they go hang out, bowling alleys, they do all of these life things. And when you think back to the churches we grew up in, they didn't call it that, but that's what the choir was. Yep. That's what, when we learned Easter speeches, we was hanging out in small groups with people. And so I believe that community is super, super important. So there was a season where the calling that I have globally had taken me away from the local church. And I didn't get the chance to go on Sundays. And I was thinking, man, I feel empty. I don't feel like I'm receiving a word. Yeah, I feel like I'm just going out, just pouring, but I'm not getting what I need personally. And that kind of goes back to what you were saying too, because now it was on me to you go get the word for yourself. While you're on that plane, you need to make sure that you're filling yourself up, because I was constantly pouring, and before you know it, you're empty.
Dry.
Yeah, yes, just dry heaving out here. And so that was me. And so I felt like, it's taking me away from the local church, but God was just redesigning it and preparing me for what we do now. There's not a moment that I'm gonna miss at the Purpose Place at our church. I love my church. Yeah.
There's an issue that I've always had with church, and it's not a lot, but I don't think, like, my issue is we ain't having the necessary conversation.
What is it?
Whatever the conversation is, it's like we ain't talking about the real.
Okay.
We speaking as if God would say it this way, but God, the God I know and that I fell in love with, the Jesus, I can speak to him like, man, Jesus, these nigga poops, It's getting on my nerves. Give me the strength, persevere. And there's often times where we change our dialect.
Oh, people are praying pretty prayers.
Vernacular in church to say like, hold on, like why can't we have this? No, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't the real in church. That's Sister Jones. Sister Jones don't look like that in the. That's on Thursday night, Friday night. But on Sunday, Sister Jones is catching the Holy Ghost. We're not able to have these conversations to be like, hey, I think I'm feeling a certain type of way specifically to another person. Like, how do I, we're not having the homosexual conversation in church. We're not having the, hey, what do I do when I'm feeling
my flesh is feeling.
Come on. But it's dividing us because we're not having these conversations. And when we do have these conversations, that's not of God. And that's my quarrel with church. Like, let's stop dodging real conversations and let's get to the nucleus about.
I think I have to disagree a little bit.
Talk to me.
Because what you're talking about is more what we call discipleship. Okay. It's those moments where you're literally having Bible studies or the small groups that I was just talking about. I don't know that in social media clips or the 60 seconds that you get to post the highlight of your sermon, everybody gets the full content of what's being preached or what's being delivered in a church setting. I know several pastors and several leaders and several churches that are addressing issues. Just last week, we did this. We did a conversation, Kenny and I, on our platform, and we called it "Is That Holy?" And we threw out all these scenarios. Me and my girlfriend, we love each other. And we just want to spend time together. So we sleep together, but we ain't having sex. Like, we addressing all of these real issues. And I believe that churches are addressing them, but you gotta be committed to the local church that God has called you to in order to be discipled. It's kind of impossible to address the whole man on a Sunday. It requires a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday type of thing. Now, do I feel like churches can present more literature, more things to help with our congregants? Yes, I do. I feel like we can present more, give them options on books to read, things to study, to help you navigate these different phases of life that you're going through. But I don't know that I can honestly say that the church is avoiding these conversations. I really believe that it's something that's being addressed. One of the things that I felt, we just talked about this, I felt that the church during my season of grief, I didn't think it addressed it enough. I didn't think, and I still feel this way. I don't think we talk about grief enough. I don't think we teach people how to walk through seasons of grief right. I don't. I felt like for me, and this is just personal, during that time of grief, I felt like I had been singing about the God of peace and he's the guy who's gonna be there no matter what, until I had to live it. When I had to live out grief, it was like, oh God, how do I allow you to be my God of peace right now? And I've been singing about this for forever. You know, we can sometimes sing and preach about stuff that we never been through, but when you have to go through it, it is a different thing. Yes, sir. So I do believe that there are certain subjects that we need to talk about more, but I believe the church is open to it. I do.
And this is my experience, and I want to preface that to, I grew up in a old school type of dynamic where I'm like, yeah, but that ain't realistic.
That ain't what I'm going through.
That ain't what I'm on now. You feel what I'm saying? And it doesn't make me feel like I'm better than a certain situation or that person. It's just like, I don't have the resources to kind of go to. But I would add this though. What sin have you watched the church forgive quickly and one that is never forgiven?
This may not be a popular opinion. I think the church is very forgiving. Now, here's the dynamic, though. It's weird because the church is very judgmental, but they'll be the first to accept you back. And I don't want to call out names, but there are several examples of people, like we talked about Whitney Houston. She suffered through a lot of things very openly, but one of the places that she found solace and the people that always accepted her was the church. It was one of the places, and they probably condemned her from the beginning, but the church is always gonna be like, well, this is our daughter, we receive you back. Me personally, that has been my experience with the church, that I think we gotta work on the top end. We gotta stop being so judgmental from the beginning because everybody has issues. Everybody got flaws. But I do believe that the church is super forgiving, which is the heart of God.
And I agree. But these are things that I hold true, knowing that, like, I grew up watching a man that didn't play still to this day about church. And that's my dad.
Yeah.
Like, my dad don't.
Same. I'm the same way.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he don't. It's not like, hey, I'm about to drink this, wine. It's
He
like,
lived what he said.
No, he's living it.
Yeah.
On a day-to-day. And when I see certain things, I would have hated for something. Well, it happened, not in church, but it happened, publicly, that I was like, yeah. And he still, held his head through it all. But
I have a question for you, since we're here. When it comes to situations like what we're talking about, I would love to hear your heart on what it would look like, because you're kind of on the inside, but you're also on the outside looking in. What would the perfect reconciliation look like for the church? Like, what would be expected of a church to, what do you expect the church to do to recover, like to restore someone? And I don't even know that restoration is what I mean, because—
I see where you at.
Yeah.
Empathy.
Okay.
The ability to empathize with a person is something that is not as common as you would think. Because I've talked to a lot of people, and I feel like my situation, I can feel the judgmental approach of like, but you don't know me.
Yeah.
Like, when I've had serious conversations with my father about, Pop, if you go to Publix, nobody would know who you are.
Yeah.
If I go to Publix, there's pictures that's taken, there's, hey, phone calls, and it's like, that doesn't make me better than you.
Yeah.
It just makes my situation different than how you can pastor.
Yeah.
And I fell victim to temptation, but my temptation and your temptation is two different temptations.
Wow.
But it's like, when you're able, or when you have, like, goes back to now, it's making sense to when I'm saying, like, we're not having that real conversation. Because when I'm like, if you have never been able to go somewhere and be something, how can you tell me and just give the preface of, God wouldn't want that, son? But I'm like, that's when my ears kind of close. And it's like, bro,
Wow.
This band is a band, but I'm like, in the time of need, what would Jesus do? This dude just tried me, and now I'm about to sit up there and do something that's gonna get me to repent. Don't play with me like this, because, you see what I'm saying? Man, shawty, fine. And I know I got a covenant with my woman, but it's like, golly, like, man, this is so-and-so, like, you feel me? Like, these things is like laughable to some, but it's the reality to others. And if you can't be in that club, exposed to certain different things, it's easy for you to say, I'll never do that. Like, I don't see how you addicted to drugs. Well, you've never been, you've never had
that pressure.
You've never had that pressure. And I'm a person, I've never done a drug that was not, administered over the counter, but it's like, my drug may be something else.
Yeah.
And the empathy that when I talk to people, I may not have done heroin, I may not have been a prostitute, but I'm gonna listen to you and try to find if there's something that I can give you. And sometimes I don't even want you to give me nothing, just listen.
Wow.
Because that's the worst thing that could happen, especially in church. It's like, you're so quick to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing rather than saying, you don't even know. I'm trying to get to the gist of it. And everybody doesn't have the ability to explain. So that's what I would say. Empathy, grace.
I received that.
You know? Because a dancer, a stripper, is coming to a situation where they want to be restored. And their story may be ugly. But what I've been able to witness is their story is ugly. But the money that they're going to donate is beautiful. How do we do that in the church? How do we say, no, cut that mic off because you're talking about sex. But if she say, hey, I want to donate. Oh, look at God. These are things that I experienced.
Yeah.
And
because I don't know that it would be every church.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm speaking of my truth.
Yeah.
I'm speaking of not just my situation that I went through at my father's church. It's like of what I've observed with the holier than thou. But you accept their money though. But you don't want them to talk, but you want, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just becomes real tricky, for me. And it's easy for me to kind of doing it, but I want to ask this question because this is more or less about you. I referred to it about the clip that you mentioned in Beyonce, but the clip goes as, I saw a clip where you asked about the cost of Beyonce's fame. So I'm going to ask you, what did success cost you that nobody saw?
Wow. I was just listening to you talk about just the different dynamics that come with living a life that's exposed. You know, people basically see almost everything you do unless you're super intentional about your private life. For me, I think that was a part of it. I am such a introvert and a down-home country girl, and sometimes my life doesn't allow for me to be as secluded as I desire. And that's a challenging thing for me because the constant travel, going from here to there and everywhere. I'll tell this story. When I first started in the industry and really, really traveling a lot, I am just a worshiper. So I love, and that's probably what you hear in the music, I just love God. I love to sing to him. I love the songs. And it's just been my life for a very, very long time. But along with the songs going here, there, and everywhere came people being drawn to me. And that was just like, okay, y'all, I'm doing all I can to bring attention to him. Why are y'all looking at me? It was really, really hard for me. And I'm going to give a shout out to Kiera Sheard, who is like one of my closest friends. And back then, I wasn't trying to be rude. I didn't like taking the pictures. I felt like it was like, I don't want to take God's glory. This is not about me. Y'all, please look at him. And God gave me an example one day. He said, Tasha, you're drinking out of this cup. He was like, this is a cup, it's full of water. You want to get the substance that's in that cup, but there's no way to get to the substance without going through the vessel. People are always going to see you. Now, how do you represent me when they see you? And it changed everything. It literally changed everything. Kiera used to tell me, sis, you got to do this, you got to sell, And so once I experienced that kind of changed my perspective about God using me as a vessel. So listen, if y'all watching this and I didn't take a picture with you, I was going through a season. It changed a little bit now, but yeah, that was one of the things that was hard for me. It was big, and it may not be a big thing, but it was hard for me to accept the constant attention. It just wasn't my thing. Yeah.
I want to talk about, your husband, Kenneth. And so much that you guys work in tandem with.
My baby daddy.
What? I'm trying to tell you. But it's almost cringy sometimes when you hear church people talk about it. It's like, but can you though?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
you can.
yes, you can.
Yes, you can. But it's one of them things that's like, hold on, how do we receive it? Because there's always the right thing to acknowledge your partner. But with Kenneth, you guys are creative partners, business partners, and co-pastors. When you guys go home, What's the turn-off switch? Do you guys have glue? What keeps you guys connected?
We were friends. We started off as friends first. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We met at a church, of course. We two church kids. We were at this conference, and I was with William Murphy, and William was teaching a course. He was teaching a class. He went over time because everybody was in there shouting, and so he looks at me and said, "Tasha, go do my rehearsal." And so I walk into this rehearsal, and it's William's song, "Praises Is What I Do." But he has two different versions, and there's only one version that he really, really likes to do. They were playing the wrong version. So I walk in, and I just, I was going through that season I was just talking about. I wasn't the nicest person in the world. So I walk in, and I was like, who's in charge here? This is the wrong song. I'm on 10. Like, what? Who's it? So, yes. Kenny stands up, and he was like, "Hi, my name is Kenneth Leonard. I'm the MD. Whatever you need, we'll fix it." And I'm like, who is this guy? You need to meet my energy. Why are you? And from that moment into this one, he has always been the calm to my storm, like literally. And so he fixed it. The night went amazing. And after that, it's Facebook time. I'm aging us. Facebook, I get a DM, and he's like, I don't know what it is. I feel like we need to stay connected. It was completely platonic. I would get him dressed for dates and everything. When I met my husband, he was wearing a 3-piece denim suit with the church shoes, with the long. It wasn't right. I had to get him together. I was like, if you're going to get married, you got to stop wearing this stuff. So it was platonic. But we had a friendship for years where we would just hang out, get to know each other. And before we revealed our feelings for each other, we just got to know each other. So now we can sit down and we can watch anything. YouTube, Netflix, we laughing, we're hanging out, kids going to bed, all that kind of stuff, because we built a friendship before we went into marriage.
That sounds good. That sounds amazing. How would you advise women to find that? What would you advise women to do?
Oh man, you have to be aware. It goes back. Now, this goes back to something that you said that I really, really love. You got to love yourself first. You got to love yourself first before you can recognize anybody who has come to love you right.
You heard them sound effects? God, you stuck with that one.
Yeah, I knew he would love me right because I knew how to love me. I knew what love meant to me.
His children didn't bother you?
Oh my God, they're my babies. So just like any blended family. Oh, him having children? No, because I knew him.
Now, I ask a lot of church people this, and I ask you to sing. Do you think everybody is supposed to be married?
No. I don't think everybody. It's a ministry. It is something you have to have grace for. It's something you have to have favor for. I feel like, oh Lord, here we go. The Bible says a man who finds a wife
finds a good thing. Okay.
Wait, but obtains favor from the Lord. I feel like a lot of times people who are living the life that is designed for marriage outside of marriage, sometimes it gets so hard because marriage requires favor. And you're trying to do something that requires favor without the favor. All right, we're gonna keep going.
You see what be ticking me off in here? Because
it's the word.
2 hours done went by. We
ain't nobody snap.
We is not hearing no thumb snaps.
Yeah, you gotta obtain the favor.
But what does that mean though?
You don't know?
I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm really
okay. I feel like I've had a lot of friends who have tried to live a structured life that would be a married life that has become very, very challenging, very difficult, has taken them outside of who they are and their personality, and now they're feeling torn and worn out because they don't have the favor that God gives that comes with marriage. There are some things that Kenny and I have gone through that if we went through it without God's favor, we would have fallen apart.
Okay. So what makes y'all...
And favor, when you talk about favor, you talk about favor and grace. There's a grace, something special, something that only comes from God that allows you to be able to carry this well. I ain't even trying to come for you. I'm just up here just...
Trust me when I tell you
I'm just pouring out my heart.
I'm loving it. Da, 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 da. I'm trying to tell you. But I'm asking this because Have you experienced divorce?
I have not, but he has. Kenny was married before. Mm-hmm.
So
Can I use an example about the favor?
Please.
And this is very personal for me. We have our baby boy Asher now. He's adopted. However, we went through a season because I have endometriosis where I was challenged with carrying a baby. So we went through so many things. I went through a year where I would fly to Texas every single month getting shots to clear up the endometriosis just so we can go through IVF. And we went through the IVF, we had the implantation, and we lost the baby. Mm-hmm. In that season, I don't know that without having the grace and the favor, now this is gonna make me cry, to withstand it with my husband, that I would have stayed there. Because it was such a heartbreaking situation for me, where I questioned the God that I served. I questioned the life that I had built. I questioned whether what I was doing was right. Am I leading people into something that ain't real? Because God, you promised me this. And it's the one thing that I wanted, and we didn't get it. Here comes the favor, though. After about maybe 2 months of dealing with heartbreak, my husband allowing me to go through whatever I was dealing with and just praying me through it, he walks in the room. He talked about this the other day, and he said, "Baby, I know we've never talked about this before." He said, "But what do you think about adoption?" And because he had grace for our marriage, I did not hear Kenny. I heard God speaking through my husband, that Tasha, you tried to do this your way, but your husband is telling you my way. And I couldn't hear for myself, but my husband heard for me. That's grace. That is favor that comes where you're able to speak the word of God to the person that God is giving you, and they receive it even in a season where they are broken and shattered.
Dang.
I know, right? Not a round of applause.
Look.
That's favor.
But dang, that's so beautiful. Shout out to Kenneth, bro. Like, you're a real
He's a good
one.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's great.
And I'm not trying to be difficult. I want to have
Literally. We could talk this.
Yeah.
You stuck with me now.
You feel me?
You my brother.
Feel me?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't want to do a surrogate? Was that an option to have a?
It wasn't God's way.
But how do you know?
I knew because my husband said it.
Okay.
And he was God's voice during that time. Yeah, it was. Have you seen Asher? Have you seen pictures of my baby? He looked just like us, act just like us, walk like us, talk. The story itself is just a God thing. Literally, after we went through the process of adoption, this is gonna give you chills, literally. We went through the process of adoption, you apply at these, and it's not popular. It's not popular in our culture to go through actual adoption processes.
That, yeah.
And I think it's ministry. I think it's ministry that we're missing and the church is missing. Now, I will say that. We went through the process, and we finished in about a week later. Was it a week later? Our adoption agency called and said, "Hey, this doesn't make any sense, and I haven't seen it in 20 years of me doing this." We applied at 4 agencies, but an agency out of Baton Rouge called. We don't know how they got our account. We don't know how they knew anything about us. And they said a mother just walked in, and she is having a baby boy that fits everything that Tasha and Kenny wants. She has 7 options out of families. What I want you to do, so our agent, she was like a God-fearing woman. She told Kenny, she said, "This is what I feel like you need to do. I want you to sit down and write a handwritten letter to the mother, to the biological mother." So Kenny wrote a letter about our family and our children and how we were promised a baby boy that God is gonna bring to us. And we had 2 opportunities to talk with the biological mother. And in that second conversation, Kenny asked her, "What was the one thing that made you choose us out of 7 families?" Because she chose us 3 days later. 3 days. It takes people 2 years to get babies, sometimes more. 3 days later, she said, "The truth is, I was sitting down and I was reading your letter, and the baby started kicking." She was like, "I didn't choose you. He did." Yeah.
Dang.
Because my husband has favor.
Shout out to Ken.
Yeah. So, everything about that story, it just aligns. It's like you can't hear this story and not see God in it.
Yeah. How because I want to go somewhere sensitive and being mindful that this is a very sensitive topic. How do you teach that to Asher and the other children as well too? Because it's like there's so many ways it can go.
Yeah.
Does he know the biological mother? Like how does
No. So it's different ways for different
Yeah,
families.
can you-
People
do you
choose
care
different
to-
ways. You can choose your privacy. Like the biological parent can say, I don't want to be known. They can say, I want to be known when they get a certain age. So you go through all of that part of the process. And we can also say, well, this is the privacy that we desire, which is what we did, even through the adoption process. Because you don't want people picking you, hey, because that's just, that's Tasha Cobbs Leonard. Let's give her a baby, So we
had no idea who you were.
No, it was private. Yeah, private adoption.
Now, you've spoken openly about it. Have you ever thought of the day that Asher asked us the questions?
Well, we've already started talking to him about it ever since he was born.
Okay.
Yeah, we have affirmations that we speak over Asher every single night before he goes to bed. So when he turned 5 years old, we started having the conversation already that I prayed about it. Like, God, how do I tell a 5-year-old, that this wasn't the normal type of birth that you would expect? So he started asking me, Mommy, can I see pictures of when I was in your belly? And I'm never going to lie to my baby. So I said to him, oh, you were never in Mommy's belly. You were never in Mommy's belly. Come here, let Mommy tell you the story about how you got here. God promised Mommy and Daddy that they were going to have a beautiful baby boy. But Mommy had some complications in her stomach that wouldn't allow her to carry you. So God gave you to another beautiful mommy who would carry you for Mommy until we can get to you. And I told him this. He got so excited. I said, guess what? I said, when she was ready to have you, they called and they said, your boy is here, your boy is here. And Mommy and Daddy got on the RV and we started driving so fast to come get you. He was like, no, this is so crazy. And God will give you a way to share it with him that you were never rejected. You were never denied. We always wanted you. It was just about God getting you and us together.
I pray that his discovery will always be with love.
Yes. Yep.
And the reason why I say that is I witnessed the opposite with a close friend of mine.
Yeah.
And it triggered rebelliousness. It triggered abandonment. It triggered a lot of different things that.
And we've seen it.
You know what I'm saying? It's very tricky. It's very touchy.
Yeah.
And as he got older, he felt
The rejection.
bamboozled. He felt like his life was a lie.
Was he ever told?
Never told.
Oh, yes. See, that's not.
And that's why I was asking, it's like, how do you plan? Because he got.
It's not always easy, though.
It's
so
not. This is
no
not an
judgment.
easy conversation because
Yeah.
I seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
Because the thought was, it was a cousin that told the story, and he went to his mom and was like, "Mom,
Oh, exposed it to him before.
what is he talking about?"
Wow.
And the mom was like, "Why? Who told you this?" And the boy was so like, he's a teenager, so now it's like, hold on, why you ain't tell me this?
Yeah. I think one of the things in probably thinking about where the parents may have been, it's easy to get comfortable with the ease of life. And you can be distracted by the comfort and thinking, I don't know how this is gonna go if I tell them right now.
Yeah.
But before you look up, they're 10, they're 12. So everything has to come with intentionality.
Yeah.
Like you asked about our other babies. It's a fully blended family. So our second baby boy is also adopted. So he was from Kenny's first marriage, where Kenny adopted him as his son. And so we have that example in the house. So he overshadows Asher with love. Like, hey, I love you so much. You're the brother that I always wanted.
Yeah.
Even with our daughters. So it's almost like our family has agreed, we're gonna make this wholesome, we're gonna make this right, and God is gonna put his favor on it. And that's just what we believe. And so far it's been great.
Man,
Yes.
if y'all keep doing it, please.
Yes.
Please.
I need to send him to you. He's an amazing athlete.
Yeah, that's cool.
I gotta. What's the name of your team?
It's C1N.
But he would have to move to Atlanta.
Nah, we national.
Oh, okay, all right.
As long as it's Central Time, and I'm cool. I don't do West Coast because it's a lot of strain on trying to get to practice.
With the time difference.
But yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people need to understand because
I would love to encourage more from our community to adopt. I would love to do that. It's a part of my heart. I believe that there are many of our children who can benefit from wholesome homes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful to hear. Because
you don't hear about it often. You don't hear about it a lot. Unless it's like, a cousin took you in, an aunt took you in, something like that. But to really go through the adoption process, you don't hear about it a lot.
Or you witness it through a avenue, a movie, a show, and it's like that can be a sign, but it may not be all.
I'm glad we talked about this.
It's refreshing. I want to talk about your fitness journey.
Yeah.
Because you glowing. And I've been a fan for a long time and seeing the evolution of Tasha.
Yeah.
And now here you are as a vessel of health and wellness. Talk to us about Club 360.
Club 360. Oh, I have to start before Club 360. So it was just I made a decision that I was just gonna live right. And I know most times with church people, when we say live right, we think it holy, holy, holy. But I believe this is a part of my worship too. That this temple that God has given me, I need to take better care of it. And that's a lot of pressure. And everybody don't want to hear it because we love our pork skins and our, our chicken. But there comes a place where you can get mentally where it's like, man, I love the clarity. I talked about this earlier that I feel mentally when I'm working out. I needed to experience something. A few weeks ago, I talked about this in that testimony. I took a sabbatical for 6 weeks. So I canceled everything. I canceled a tour. I canceled a live recording. I canceled every booking that I have. And I sat at my house and I went to the gym and I spent time with God just so I can remove the distance. And one of the things that I discovered in removing the distance is that the same God that I experience when I'm on a stage leading worship, I found him in the gym. I found him on a treadmill. I spend time with him. I cry in there. I worship in there. I get revelation in there. And it was like, oh man, I don't need a title. I just need space and opportunity to allow him in. And that's what I just started posting it. So I started posting my workouts for accountability. It was because before I would start a diet, nobody knew about it. So you can quit whenever you feel like it because there's no pressure to keep it going. So I posted it, I would post a workout and people started watching. I'm like, oh my God, so I can't quit tomorrow. Somebody's expecting me. So this is over a year ago now where I would just start posting. And one of the things I did not expect, and this always warms my heart, I was at my highest, 360 pounds, 350, 60 pounds. And nobody could have ever told me, this is one of the things that God kept from me. Nobody could have ever told me that I would influence people in the world of fitness. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that girl, 350 pounds, overweight her whole life, down the road, God is gonna use you and change your whole mindset about your body. So much so that I have women who show up to our workouts who haven't worked out in 10, 15 years. But because they saw me do it, they're like, Tasha, I'll try again. I think I can do it again. Now, and they keep showing up.
What was the routine? Like, what was it? Because you have so many different pathways to weight loss. Pills.
I've tried it all. I've done it all. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've done everything. I've done the shots, I've done the surgeries, and none of it works without consistency, persistence, and really being committed to making sure that you're healthy.
Is the Ozempic?
It works for a season. Literally for a season. You can't, one of the things that I experienced with the Ozempic, and I'm not against it. I will tell people all the time, literally it helps to jumpstart. If you struggle, because I'm very realistic about this, and I think a lot of people overlook this, that obesity is a disease.
Yes.
It is a disease.
Yes.
And so just like every other disease, sometimes people need medication to help them overcome it. And so for me, starting the Ozempic, I did it as a joke, honestly. I was like, this is not gonna work. All of y'all out here it's not gonna work. So I went on a tour, and on that tour, I started Ozempic like 2 weeks before. And I was like, I bought all these clothes because I gotta perform. And when I did that first show, my clothes was falling off. I was like, oh my God, it actually does work. One of the things that I had to realize though, and all of the health people will tell you this, is that you're losing muscle mass. And I've always been athletic though. So I played basketball, I played softball my whole life. So I know about working out. If I ever get started, I know I can do it. So I realized that I was losing my strength. I did not like that. I felt very frail, very fragile, very weak. And so I said, Tasha, hey, all right, you lost this weight, but now you gotta get fit. I don't wanna be looking frail and fragile. And so that's when I started in the gym. Like, hey, and once I started in the gym, I was like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
You know, and so I posted something the other day, you can't fake fit.
No, you cannot.
You can, you can't. No, you can't fake fit. And so I am literally enjoying watching not just what God is doing through me, but to watch those ladies show up every month. It's just, and it wasn't the 360 thing. It wasn't just. I did it because they wanted to come work out with me. I get nothing out of it. We show up at an event center. We have fun. We're playing dodgeball. You know, I'm doing things that they can enjoy. You don't even know that in the morning you're gonna be real sore because you think you're just having fun. We're jumping jacks. We're doing weights, and they just keep showing up. It is a blessing.
Love that. I've realized through my fitness journey, and recently it kind of triggered something because, like I said, I'm back in the gym. But I have to work on my relationship with food. Yeah. Because food to me has been the celebratory act. Man, let's go get something to eat, bro. Like, let's break bread. Yeah. Oh, I'm depressed. Yeah. Where's the cookies? Where's the...
Get your moon pies.
You let me get the moonies and marshmallows and those things. But the discipline and understanding that, like, I'm so serious right now. I've got a food scale. I count my calories.
Wow.
I'm one of those. I'm bit by the bug of evolving into. I needed this.
Yes.
Because now I'm not doing it for. It's not a goal. I just want to. I want to maximize the best version of myself.
Yeah, me too.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and it's like the goal keeps expanding for me now.
Yeah.
Because once I see, I can really do, I don't even know how to articulate this. To go from the Tasha that was 350, and then to see, like the other day I posted something that I was doing like a dumbbell workout, and when I lifted my arms, you can see like a little ab there. Don't tell me I got abs.
It's under there.
Wait a minute.
Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I
was like, freeze, let's screenshot this. And I put it, I was like, is that an ab? So now I really want to see the abs. So now I got to push myself a little bit further.
Well, push yourself on down and I'm saying it in a way, I call it the hellhole.
Okay.
Because there's no ventilation.
Yeah.
We
down there with...
we get after it. And I don't know, man, my brother left. But I just opened the gym.
I'm about to bring me a little fan.
No, that fan gonna be blowing hot air. It's like sitting next to the oven, making it worse. But what I've realized, I've been working out there for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it's just your thoughts.
Wow.
It's just it's you versus you. And everybody sees the boot camp classes that me and my brother kind of go to, but it has been reviving to kind of know, like, bro, I need that. I want routine.
Yeah.
I need that. That's a part of religion. That's a part of structure. That's a part of so many different things that
you're doing like 3 different things though. So you're doing the step,
Yep. Boot
You're
camp.
doing high intensity training and weightlifting,
Yep.
plus running.
And we'll get a jog in.
Oh God.
So
You are there training now. You say you ain't going to the NFL, but I don't know.
nah. See, you know what I'm training for? I'm waiting on my boys to try me.
Okay. How old are they?
Well, the ones that's in the house now,
Teens.
10 is the oldest, but I have a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old. She's at Georgia Southern, and he's at
Statesboro.
Georgia. Yeah.
When you say try you, what you mean?
When they bow up at me, and oh, Father God, just thank you, thank you. I knew one of y'all was gonna try me. I know who gonna try me
One
the
of them
first.
gonna lose their mind.
I know which one it's gonna be.
Okay.
He don't know it, but I know it.
So you had to get yourself together.
Ooh, boy, listen, let me tell you something. Boy, I'm gonna be ready when the Saints come marching in, and I'm gonna be marching them out, body by body.
Are they all athletic?
They
I
are.
see they be out there running.
That's
with you.
cool, man. I had a moment where, like, the playroom, like, that's their place where I don't too much go in when they're there. Like, they be screaming and hollering. You know, as parents, you know sounds.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you could be in the other room and you hear a certain sound. It's like, oh yeah, he'll be all right. But then it's
But
like,
one
boom, boom,
when
boom.
somebody really hurt.
It's like if one of them come, it ain't nothing.
Yeah.
But if all of them come, it's
Yeah,
an
we got a
emergency.
problem.
I went in there, you know, one particular time, and they got up under me. It's like they was wrestling, and I'm like I got boys, so they get active.
They all decided to take you at the same
They
time.
was like, whoa. So I'm like, whoa, stop it. They lifted me up. I said, oh, hey, stop. Hey, I ain't playing with y'all. Hey. I said, okay.
Oh, you realize you had to get yourself together.
At that moment, I said, we ain't far away. That one of them
yeah.
gonna bow up and say, Tuh!
Uh-oh.
You know, there's a moment in Book of Eli
Uh-huh.
when he at that bar and he done ticked off the cat and he just, Father God, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. And when it happens,
You gonna be ready. Y'all, this the real reason why Cam out there doing all of that.
and my daughters, like when it's that too. When somebody try them,
Oh, you need to scare somebody.
I don't invest in guns.
We're in a therapy session. Right
I'm the gun.
now. You the gun.
I'm the bat.
Uh-huh.
I'm the nightstick. I'm the pepper spray. You're calling it a new tour, an intimate worship experience instead of a traditional concert. If every night can go completely differently, what are you hoping people walk away with that they cannot get from streaming the album?
A reset. I think people are looking for a fresh start. Just, man, I need a moment in the presence of God that's not scripted. You know, anything can happen on those nights. We're gonna do some of the older songs. We singing some of all your favorites.
Yeah.
But if God says, hey, I wanna do something special right now, we're gonna give him the freedom to do whatever he desires to do. And I think I've been seeing a lot of comments about people who have been following me since the days of Break Every Chain. And it feels like that. It's super nostalgic. Like we're going back to those moments where we just rest in the presence of God. And whatever he desires to do, that's what we're gonna let him do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanna go.
I know, we already talked about it.
No, for sure.
We coming to Atlanta.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, like people, I think that I want to experience that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that I want to experience the Kirk Franklin,
Yeah.
concert, the Elevation,
Yeah.
Maverick City, so many, Tamla.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And growing up in church, I'd never really been to a church concert. So
Yeah.
I would be so thrilled, and I want to support
Yeah.
where I'm excited.
It's already done.
You spent your career being known as a woman who can bring a room into worship. My last question is, what does Tasha need from the room?
One of the things that I've grown to love is the testimonies. Just people sharing how the experience changed their lives. And it doesn't have to be I need a response from Tasha. It's almost like I'll read a story, or I'll read a comment, or I hear somebody talking about, even to this day, people will share something with me that happened 12 years ago that I never knew anything about. They're like, yeah, I was at one of your concerts and my life was changed forever. Like that.
Yeah.
It gives me the strength for sometimes the uncomfortability that I was talking about. Like, it's not always easy to be away from your family, missing holidays, but to hear that somebody's life was changed because of your sacrifice, that matters to me.
Well, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
We cried, we laughed, we spoke what we deemed as the truth. But as we end things here at Funky Friday, when I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
It's gonna look similar to this. I'm gonna say one finger to this camera. When I say one pinky, we're gonna go to that camera. And then when I say one thumb, we're gonna go to our camera. This is the universal sign of love. Like, no funny business. This is love. Okay? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
One hand out. One finger. One pinky. One thumb. All together. One love. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Tasha Cobbs Leonard. Thank you. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.